This one is still pretty hot because it's only been off the grill for about 4 minutes or so, but it still looks really nice. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, I'm pretty sure you guessed by the thumbnail that today we are going to be cooking 4 pieces of steak with 4 different types of salt. Now what you're looking at here is a couple of ribeyes that I cut in half for a total of 4 pieces, and I got these 4 different salts from Hawaii. And we're going to cook one of each of these steaks with each of these different salts to see if it makes any big difference. The one that I'm most interested in is going to be the last one that I've got to show you here in a second. But the first one is just going to be what is called white diamond sea salt. The second one is going to be what's called Alea salt. Alea salt. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's 100% Alea salt. Now this one here is also Alea salt, but it's seasoned. You can see all of the nice colors in there. And the last one is very interesting. This is black coral sea salt. I've never seen a black sea salt before. I am very interested in what this is going to come out like. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do something that's called dry brining. So dry brining is pretty much when you go ahead and make sure that your steak, first thing you do is when I took these steaks out of the bag is I patted them dry with a paper towel. All right, so they're pretty dry. They're not soaking wet. Definitely don't want to wash them under the sink. So dry brining, you're just going to take some of the salt. You're going to get it on all sides. Don't bother trying to get the salt on the side that has all the fat in it like that, because the salt will not penetrate that fat. And now what we're going to do, that we've got all the sides salted, is we're just going to let it sit here. Preferably you would want to put it in the refrigerator like overnight once you've salted it, and that is technically the dry brining method. But we're going to eat these here in a couple hours, so I'm going to leave these on the counter for the next couple of hours. And what's going to happen is the salt is going to extract the moisture from the meat, and then as the moisture is extracted and it dissolves the salt, it's going to go back into the meat. That way the middle of your meat is seasoned with salt and you get flavor all the way throughout. Now the reason I'm using these paper plates is to keep them separated from each other. That way the different salts won't contaminate the next one that I use. So let's go ahead and do the next one. Now the next salt that we're going to use is the Alea salt. Same thing with all of these. And now we're doing our seasoned salt, our Alea seasoned salt, and that looks really good actually. I want to make sure that I get it on everything. And the last one that we're going to use is this black coral sea salt. Look at that. That looks very interesting. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that something? And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. They're all seasoned. We're going to let them sit here for about a couple of hours, and then I am going to grill these on my air fryer. You're going to see how great of a job an air fryer cooks these meats. They pretty much cook it to whatever wellness you like. And it's about 2 hours later, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you what it looks like after a couple of hours of it sitting here with the salt. This is the one with the regular sea salt. You can see there's still a few little specks on top, but a lot of it has disappeared. This is the one, I'm going to call it the pink salt, or the Alea salt. That's what this one looks like. You can see most of it has dissolved into the meat. This is the one with the spiced Alea salt. You can see that most of the spices, of course, stayed on top, but a lot of the salt has dissolved. And this is the black coral sea salt. That looks pretty interesting. So let me show you how this air fryer works. It is really cool. I use this thing all the time, as you can tell. Right? You can probably see burn spots and stuff all over it. So the way it works is very easy. You take this thermometer that they provide you, you plug it into its port, and then you stick it in the middle of the piece of meat that you want to cook. Now, since all of these pieces of meat are pretty much the same thickness, It's okay if you put more than one piece of meat in there. So what I'm going to do is the first set that I'm going to cook is going to be the one with the regular salt and the one with the alea salt or pink salt. And then I'll do another batch to do the spice salt and the black coral sea salt. So all we have to do is you turn it on. Then you're going to go to, how do you want to cook it? I want to grill it. It's got an air crisp. Let's say you're doing nuggets or something like that. You put it on air crisp. And I've actually roasted a whole chicken on this before and it works great. But today we're going to grill. And I'm going to go ahead and place it on the second to highest setting. That setting has always worked really well. Then I'm going to go to preset manual. It's going to be preset. You can see that the very first choice is beef. Now it allows you to tell it how well you want to cook the beef. So usually we like it around medium to medium well. So all you have to do is push this up button. You can see that it's moving along. Now it's on medium. And right there, about medium to medium well is what this is right here, number 6. Then all you have to do is hit start. Now it's going to preheat. Once it's done preheating, it'll beep and it'll actually tell you add food. I'll show you that as soon as it's preheated. All right, there you go. Now it's preheated and we can add our steak. So I'm going to open this up. And now you're going to see two different temperatures. You'll see 133, which is the goal, right? That's the set temp that we want the middle of the meat to be at, where the thermostat is. And that 49 is what the temperature of the meat, where that thermostat is, or thermometer, not thermostat, where that thermometer is right now, right? So we'll be back when it's somewhere in the 90 degree, where this number here is around the 90, 95, 97, something like that. It'll tell us that we need to flip the steaks over. All right, so it just beeped at me, and now it's asking me to flip it over. I know you don't see it here, but it expired after about 30 seconds of me waiting to come over here. All you have to do is close it, and it'll start right back up where it left off. Okay, so I usually take it out at about 131 because then while it's resting, it's still cooking. So look at that. That looks pretty nice. I mean, it looks pretty good. Not bad for an air fryer. Okay, now we'll put it right here. Let it rest. That's our regular white sea salt. And this here is our yellow. I mean our pink salt. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to show this because I've already shown you. I'm going to go ahead and take the thermometer off. I'm going to put it on the other one, and then I'm going to do the same thing I just did with these two. Let me actually bring this over here, then that closer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, they are all done. And this one right here is the one with the regular white sea salt, the white diamond sea salt. So let's cut it up. This one's been resting for probably about a good 10 minutes right now. Let's see what it looks like. Oh my goodness, that looks really good. Look at this. Very nice. Let me go ahead and cut a little piece off, see what it tastes like. Now, normally, whenever I cook steaks, I always add some garlic powder and black pepper to it before I cook them. But I wanted to cook these just with the salt to see what the difference in the salt is. It looks very tender. Let's give it a try. And that's really good, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? Just with the salt, it tastes great. It doesn't taste over-salted. I can taste the salt. Not a strong taste or flavor of salt, but you can tell that it's throughout the entire meat. Pretty good for just the regular white sea salt or the white diamond sea salt. All right, now this one is the one with the alea salt or the pink salt. And you see that? It cooks it just like you want it. I love this little air fryer. I think it does such a great job. And this one's nice and tender as well. Let's give this one a try. Wow, and that one's got a nice little kick to it as far as the saltiness goes. I don't think that I used that much of a difference in salt on each of them. I didn't measure the salt. I probably should have, but that one's got a little bit of a salty kick in the beginning, but it settles out in the end. That one, I have to say, between the white diamond salt and that pink salt, I'll call it, I think that one has got a better taste to it, better flavor. Now this is the one with our Alea salt that is seasoned. This one is still pretty hot because it's only been off the grill for about 4 minutes or so, but it still looks really nice. All right, let's see what this is like. And that, ladies and gentlemen, very nice. It's got different layers of flavor. So it's got different layers of flavor, but nothing is overpowering. It's definitely well salted. The salt did make it all the way through the meat. Very nice. I would say that this one is just as good as the other two so far. The second one, as far as the saltiness of it goes, is the one that I like the best. But this one right here, the spice one, very good also. Now, the one that I've been waiting for. And our last one is the one that I've been waiting to try, our black coral sea salt. Very interested in seeing how this came out. And you can see that it does look a little darker than the other ones. And as you can see, it cooked pretty perfect as well. Look at that. And now the one that I've been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what the difference is besides the color of that salt, but that black coral sea salt, it has such a balanced flavor. You know, when you eat something that's really salty and it just hits you, this one hits you right in the beginning, but it balances out perfectly. It's like a smooth bourbon, right? Or it's like a smooth whiskey that you've been aging for a while. That's what I can describe it as. So I have to say that that black one is outstanding. Outstanding. If I had to pick one between the four, I would say that that black coral sea salt, it has to be my favorite. I'm going to have to take a few more bites of each, though, to make sure that I can figure out which one I like the most before my wife and my daughter get in here, because I'm sure they already smell the steak. So having said that, hey, I hope that you enjoyed this. Give that air fryer a try with your steak. You see how easy it was to cook the steaks, and I think they came out perfect. So having said that, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining in. I hope you give this a try. God bless every single one of you, and we'll talk to you later.